When you hear the words nursing home, what do you think of?
I just see a bunch of old people that look like they're gonna die soon, just sitting around playing cards and bingo and doing nothing.
Like elderly, sick people being helped by nurses and stuff.
Old people sitting in a lobby and they need nurses to clean up after them.
Nursing homes definitely smell funny.
They're pretty small rooms, generally. Not that great food.
White walls, nurses, usually death is kind of a prominent thing too there.
These presuppositions come from experience, and in light of them, nursing homes are undergoing a major shift in culture. In Kankakee, one nursing home in particular, Sojourn, is seeking to redefine and renew our culture's concept of what a nursing home experience can be. This is their story, and how their care for residents is changing healthcare for the elderly and their families.
I would never work in a nursing home again. It was an okay experience, but just when you walk in the doors, there were odors, there were bright fluorescent lights, there were, just medical institution-like feels, and it just wasn't comforting, and just the people there had so many needs, and I didn't think it was something that I could do the rest of my life.
We're transforming healthcare, and as in doing so, we're transforming lives.
When we look at what our organization did, we started first with I think it probably started more with our people and our team. And we took every initiative to meet people who are leaders in this.
Our mission starts out, life is a remarkable journey. And so the culture that truly puts those words into action is Punctuate Your Life. And so a number of years ago, we looked at a complete culture change for the entire health system. And this was the first facility built that had all those physical characteristics actually built into the facility. And so as far as punctuating lives, we have four main areas that represent that. And they're represented on the wall behind me. That first and foremost, discovery, and that's represented by the question mark. You're always asking questions, you're learning new things, that no matter where we are in our journey, no matter where we are in life, we can always learn new things and grow with each other.
The nursing home will be 20 years old in 2014. We had, when we look at caring for the elderly, we started out as typical nursing home. I think it was built as a typical nursing home model. And what I mean by that is it was, a large nurses station. It was long halls off of those nurses stations. It was semi-private rooms. The shower room was at the end of the hallway. So the residents, the patients we cared for didn't have that shower right in their room. They had toilets and sinks, but they had to be pushed in their wheelchairs down the hallway.
Then as we look truly at journey, and that's represented by the dash. And there's an amazing poem by Linda Ellis that describes the dash, and it just as a summation of that, you have someone giving a eulogy and talking about the beginning date and ending date on a tombstone, and that truly that dash in the middle is representative of that entire person's life. And so what do you want your dash to be is how it concludes. And so as we look at that, is how are we punctuating lives? What do each of our individual employees, staff members, how do we affect the dash on each of our residents' lives? How do we continue to, wherever they're at in their journey, how do we help them learn and grow? And in doing so, how are we changing our own dash at the same time?
We created private rooms with their own private showers. So when we look at personal preferences, the resident can take that shower when they want. If they like it in the morning, if they prefer it before bedtime, and they have the convenience of doing it right in their own room. We chose the private rooms to offer that environment and space for healing and just privacy, and where they can have the visitors or families there with them whenever they wanted. We have all the light switches and temperature controls are at level of, if you're in a wheelchair, that you can easily accommodate them if you are that patient there. We eliminated medication carts from these wings, these units. And we have servers at the bedside, which the bottom half is locked, where the meds are included in the bottom half, and the medication administration record for the nurse to chart against. We have now gone to electronic medical records, so they now use laptops. The top part of that server has supplies in it. You can access them from the outside of the hall or the inside of the hall. So you can stock them at night and not disturb the patient, or if you need to access something while you're in caring for the patient, it's readily at your fingertips. As the CNA suggested, we built closets in the room, so equipment is stored away there, and the hallways are clutter-free and free of equipment.
Celebration is represented by the exclamation point, and truly with celebration, it's not just celebrating the large things, and that is very important to celebrate birthdays, anniversaries, graduations, and everything that goes with that. But we're also all about celebrating the small things, whether that's a small milestone gain in therapy, whether it's winning at bingo today, whether it's mastering how to use a Wii controller, wherever they're at in their journey and wherever we're helping them and provide experiences, that we are truly celebrating every little thing along the way as well as every major milestone. Last but not least is connection, and this is by far one of the most important of the punctuations, is that when we look at connection and represented by the ampersand, that how are we, as we help others along their journey, as we better their experiences, how are we connecting with them? And so as I talked about connecting generations, how do we get the generations to connect and collaborate? And in looking at that, how do we connect with each other? It truly is me and you. And how are we moving forward together as a whole, and what connections do we not see today that truly exist, and how do we help to point those out? How do we help to work with all of our residents and families and truly show how connected we are and continue to strengthen and solidify that connection amongst each other?
Sojourn is special not only for its culture change, but also in its new facilities and the comfort that they allow their residents. Connecting generations. This is vital to culture change. No longer is the nursing home a place for isolation, but a place for connection. This creates mobility and accounts for where there is none. Residents are brought out into the world through various activities. For those who cannot get out so easily, the world is brought to them.
Therapy and how therapy is delivered has changed drastically too. I mean, go 5-7 years ago, you'd look at someone who was in a car accident with a hip fracture. Previously, they might not have been able to receive the intensive therapy that we're able to offer, and they might have to seek long-term care and not be able to return to their home setting or be able to drive again. And how therapy has changed and how we continue to change the healthcare environment is the technology that's available to us today and the types of therapy regimens that we are truly on that journey with to help each and every one of our patients, is that now we do have the resources to help them along so that they can be able to walk again, they can be able to drive their car and return to the home setting, which previously wasn't an option for some. And so, and do so in such a timely manner too, is that they might lose hope that I might not be able to live at home again, I might not be able to drive again, and in 6 to 12 short weeks, they might be back at that home setting, truly to the advances in healthcare and the quality of life that our staff is providing and helping to reinstill in all of our patients. As we go through and look at a tour of the facility, one of the main things you see as you come through the entrance is our Discovery Center. And so 2 very large TVs in there that are used for movie nights, watching the news, and just general family greeting areas where people can gather and catch up on current events or whatnot. The other things that those areas are used for is that we have 4 computers in the area, and truly helping our residents who don't know how to use computers, helping them integrate with that technology and look at things online and introduce a new source of information and resource for them. Another important area in our facility is our family areas down each of our suites hallways. And with that, we don't want the quality of life to change for our patients while they're here. One of the best examples is that we had a family come in and said, oh, it's a shame, we're so used to meeting and having breakfast as a family every Sunday morning. Now that mom's going to be with you for the next 12 weeks to receive therapy, we cannot continue that tradition. Our question is always, why not? because if there's a will, there truly is a way, and that's what that area is used for. That as, you know, bring in your groceries, you know, we have a full service kitchen in there, dishwasher, and it also has a family seating area and TV right there, and card tables and seating area. So you can continue that tradition. You can bring in the resources and still continue to have that meal take place every Sunday, because that's what's important to you. And so we don't want that to change just because you're receiving therapy or just because you're at a rehab center. That truly we want that to live on, and we want to have the highest quality of life for each of our patients. Another area of the facility is our salon and spa, in that we have a full service salon that offers a wide variety of amenities, and then also a spa in conjunction with that. That truly, as you're here, we want you to provide. We want to provide as many experiences as possible, and this is just one other way that that our guests can be pampered while they're here.
When you focus quality of life, and you focus on getting to know the resident, their personal preferences, and you focus on them as an individual and giving them as much control over their life as they're able to manage, it's a win-win for everybody.
Our concern was to find a space where she could have her things. You know, around the room here, there's a lot of pictures, and she's got a lot of knickknacks, and so that was the wonderful thing about coming here, was that they allowed to make her space very personal. So that was definitely one of the draws of coming here, so it wouldn't just be a sterile kind of environment.
You think, oh, I'm coming to a nursing home. It's like, oh my God, am I going to have a life, you know, while I'm there, or is it just going to be, you know, a time that I'm doing nothing?
We have the privilege of working in their home, and so we can't take that lightly. We have to focus on them first, and when we do, the results and the rewards are positive for everybody involved on the team.
You're seeing the joy that you can bring to someone's life, and it's the experiences that we create at Sojourn, and that makes the biggest difference. And so as we're working with patients on any level, whether we have some sort of program where we're talking about healthy living and healthy lifestyle and exercising, or we just have a wee bowling program and it's of pure entertainment value, you see the joy that you're bringing to each of the residents, and how you can change their life in that one day, in that one moment, and how that's going to affect them going forward.
Instead of just saying, you know, there's exercise and bingo and music, and if you don't like those three things, there's not a lot else for your day. They've really tried to incorporate learning what does Susie like, what does Bill like, and incorporating that into what we develop for their care plan.
We talked to several people about their experiences at Sojourn.
I like to go on tours, and we as a group went over to Kankakee Community College and enjoyed that. We've been to ball games and out to eat. That's important.
We go to the ball games. We go to a ball game every year. We've gone to the racetrack. We've gone to Hawthorne. We've gone to this other a track that's at nighttime.
We've done a lot of really cool things with anniversaries, and people will tend to be like just kind of under the table tell us, oh, you know, we've been married 57 years this Friday. And the staff is so good, especially dietary staff. They're so good about finding out what did they normally do on their anniversary, and we've had staff go as far as going to special restaurants, and then they do, you know, candlelight dinner with the lighting and the flowers and the music that was played. Those are always really touching.
I've been with her different times here in the building when she's gone down for music. They've got some ladies that come in and play piano a couple times a week. Dorothy and Virginia and I forget who else. They play down in the media room, and she goes down to bingo, goes down to what? Finish the word? Finish the phrase, that's it. And she likes those kind of things. And she goes to bingo every time they have bingo.
3 times a week.
Oh yeah, I play bingo, and I win about every time, 1 or 2 games. So that's where everything.
All the stuffed animals, for the most part,
except for 1 or
she keeps
2 up
winning.
there. The elephant and...
She just got a squirrel that's over on the
all
bottom
the little
shelf.
ones and the medium-sized ones.
Which was a stretch for Mom, because she came from a pretty religious background and never played bingo before. So at first she had a little bit of guilt about playing bingo, but she's overcome it.
It's a lot of fun.
We have a really funny one. There's a lady down the hall that likes that WW wrestling stuff. Her favorite wrestler was on pay-per-view last night, and we had a staff member make it happen so she could see that pay-per-view of her favorite wrestler. And in her room, they have posters of her favorite wrestlers. It's what makes her tick. That's her little passion.
Oh yes, they have a lot of activities.
Just because they're in a nursing home doesn't mean that they never get out again, or they never get to touch an animal again, or hold a baby again. Really making it more about them and less of that medical model focus.
We can teach and train our staff to focus on the relationships with the people they serve and to get to know them as a person and who they are. It builds that foundation of that bond between them. And it helps increase the satisfaction on the resident side, on the family side, and on the staff side as well.
I think what it does, even in my experience in other places, I think with culture change, it's brought the staff and the residents together more. It's more of a harmonious, kind of like a family.
Oh yes, they're very nice. They're very kind.
Oh, I liked it. It's just, they're all good to you. And they aim to do what's best for you. But I've had no problems. Everyone has been good to me.
When you get to know them, they can come in and just start delivering care based on those needs of what the resident likes and what's important to them. It's more fulfilling for them, for the employees, for the team. For the residents, it's how they need to be treated, somebody focusing on them.
Tell them about Erica, who's here tonight, your nurse.
Oh, Erica, she's my favorite. Because she is so willing to go beyond what she has to do as a nurse, And of course, all nurses are not like that.
Well, I think one of the first impressions is always important with anything. And you walk in the door, it's decorated very nicely, people greet you, people are friendly, it smells nice, people want to be helpful.
And I'm familiar with nursing homes in the area, and by far Miller is one of the best ones, or is the best one in the community. And I know the level of care here, so it's where I trusted to bring her.
I was told by several people that, what this place was like. And after I got here, then it was the same as everybody said. I'm glad I picked it. If I have to be in a place like this, I'm glad I picked it.
I would recommend this place to anyone if they needed medical attention. Yes.
But they work with you good here.
Yeah, they've got a very good physical therapy department here. They're very, very knowledgeable, good people. I'd say everybody's here good people.
It's been pretty great. Not a lot of pain, good staff, a lot of nice people here, the residents and the help, good food. It's been enjoyable,
You get to meet people and see people. It's been very great.
This is their home. And I said, they take care of you quite well.
Unfortunately, she's always had the attitude you can make a home anywhere.
The main thing, though, she has not liked, and we've had to learn if she's out of her room to keep her door shut, is the dog decided it wanted to eat one of her items on her shelf. So she has been very clear with all of us that if she's out of her room, we are to keep her door shut so the dog does not come in and commune with her stuffed animals.
I don't like him chewing up my stuff. When he comes in along and I'm in here, he'll step in and I'll look at him. I'll say, "No, Colby," and he'll turn around, take off.
People as they get older just dig their heels in and I'm not leaving my home, I'm not leaving my home. And then something bad will happen sometimes and they might fall and break a hip or lay on the floor for a couple days, and you kind of wish they had maybe moved sooner. and perhaps that bad thing might not have happened. I think it's a good place, and even in my capacity as a nurse over at the hospital, and I have patients that are going to need physical therapy, and they need maybe they need to be taught about their colostomy or things like that, and they're going to leave and have to come somewhere. This is always where I would wish they would come. They don't always have openings, and they have to go to another facility, but in my mind, I would always rather have them here.
Moving forward together as a whole. If the culture of a nursing community is to change, it must be the entire collective. Signs of successful change are best and most vitally seen in the attitudes and satisfaction of Sojourn's residents.
One of our missions and our drives on this journey is to connect with students, with youth in our community in many different ways. To instill, what an aging person is, what aging means, and how to maintain respect and dignity to that individual. So we partner with many different schools, and we are written into the curriculums of many different schools that they can partner with us and do internships and volunteer with us, and that's exciting. And we've seen students evolve over the years that have participated, whether they come on a class tour, they come back to be a student volunteer, then they come to us to do a student internship, and then wow, they're choosing a career in geriatrics. That's like my dream, I think we are making impact to create the future workforce that will continue delivering person-centered care.
Cindy's dream is lived out in such people as Josh Danko, who started out as a volunteer and now works in an administrative capacity at Sojourn.
My interest in long-term care initially began when Cindy DeGroot had recruited me to join our Connecting Generations program. So, and I'm sure as you've talked to Cindy, that program is really phenomenal in the fact that we work with grade school all the way through college students to really integrate the generations with the elder population, and as well as have the elder population learn as much as they can from the younger generations, whether that's with technology, with healthcare, with nutrition. And so it's really good to see those multiple generations intermix together and really start to form that relationship and bond.
One way the world is brought to the people of Sojourn is through events like the Halloween party, where children and grandchildren from families and the community at large can come to trick or treat, but, mostly treat.
The common theme I got from a lot of the residents was, it's so nice to be able to see the little kids. I think it's important to remember when you're in a nursing home, you can go months and not see a child. And so that's something that we take for granted. I mean, we see kids in the mall, we see kids everywhere. So it's important, I think, to still incorporate children, intergenerational things, because they eat that up.
A lot of the different states have their own state organizations. We're fortunate we have a driving force, the Illinois Pioneer Coalition, which is a subset of the Pioneer Network that focuses on the values of person-centered care and building that autonomy and that control of the resident to take charge of their control, of their care, while they are living in nursing homes. So it's exciting that, as the years go on, we have more and more people joining the journey. And that's what it takes. It takes commitment over time. It takes commitment, it takes a vision of just everybody moving forward to know that together, we can really conquer great things to change the world and transform it for the elders that we care for. Baby boomers are here, and the numbers of aging individuals are just going to grow and escalate by leaps and bounds. And we have to have quality centers, quality organizations to care for them as they age.
Suddenly, it's not a nursing home anymore. Or at least what we think of when we hear the words. It's not some sterile, boring environment. It's punctuated, full of life and discovery. Life is far from over. It's just a new chapter. This is the mission of Sojourn and places like it.
I'm very humbled and very proud to be part of a team doing this. We have many passionate, compassionate caregivers on our team in all departments, and that's what it takes to change the world.